This portion of Local Lifestyles is sponsored by Gary Price, elder law attorney.
And our expert in elder law, Gary Price, is here saying, don't try this at home.
Yeah, I thought that'd be a little different.
It is different, so what are we talking about?
Well, you know, my first thought when I was thinking of that title was the in-home remedies that I hear about all the time.
And there are lots of them.
There are that, you know, you're planning for Medicaid. Well, my neighbor had to plan for Medicaid, and they transferred the home. My relative had to plan for Medicaid, and they transferred this sum of money to the kids. Those at-home remedies that can really get you in financial trouble. Don't do it, by the way. Don't do those at-home.
Kids, don't try this at home.
No, don't do those. Don't do that at home. So we take advantage of those things, but it's a planned transfer that we do. So not all size fits all, right? And so for some folks, that might be well, it won't be with the home, but transferring money might be a strategy that we use, but it needs to be a planned strategy and not just because a neighbor or some other family member did it earlier.
Yeah, the urban legends will get you every single time about what happened to my family or my family member with no evidence, really, just hearsay.
That's correct. It's just hearsay. But then I was thinking, because I've had a few clients say to me about how difficult the process seemed to be, and they were glad, you know, that they hired us, you know, to help them through the process. And I really don't think about that too often because I'm so used to it. I deal with it every day.
Sure.
But if someone's getting involved and having to think about Medicaid for the first time, going on Google, taking a look at what all Google has to say about Medicaid, trying to read the rules, it could be pretty confusing, and I took a step back to think about that, you know. And Angie, you know, Medicaid is rules, regulations that were written by government over 50 years ago, and Congress has been tinkering with those rules every year just about for the last 50 plus years. Well, I mean, what do you think the end result would be when it goes through that process? It becomes confusing.
Well, and plus you don't know, unless you really are a great researcher, if the information you've Googled is recent, or was that from 10 years ago or 15 years ago? And so you need to know that as well. I mean, in filtering, I would get discouraged. If I was trying to do it by myself, I'd go, I'm calling Gary Price because I'm not doing this.
Well, I hope people listen to you because
I hope they do too.
It is, I got to believe, if you're looking at it for the first time, it would be quite the challenge.
And intimidating.
And there's so many ways you can make a mistake.
So what do you start with when they do call, make an appointment, and say, I'm in this situation, or I may someday be? Mm-hmm. How do you start? How do you begin? You begin the process. Well, begin the process by getting to know them and getting to know the family and understanding what the concern is. What's going to happen in the near future? Is this a crisis situation where Medicaid's going to likely happen soon, meaning long-term care is going to happen soon, or continued care is going to happen soon, or needing care in the home is going to happen soon? Is it a crisis situation, or is it not a crisis situation, but they're concerned about it and they want to know about their options, what they can do to plan? Once we know what we're talking about here, then I kind of ask the same questions Medicaid will, where you're kind of doing an inventory of assets and looking to see what kind of work needs to get done in order to get them qualified. That's why you call Gary, and that's why you get the book. How do they get your book?
Get the book, just call my office, 812-475-8444. We send you a free copy.
Thank you, Gary Price. We'll be back. More Lifestyles right after this and Ron's weather.
This portion of Local Lifestyles is sponsored by Gary Price, elder law attorney.